Trump's Kashmir mediation offer puts India in diplomatic bind amid ceasefire with Pakistan in an unexpected diplomatic twist. Former U.S. President Donald Trump's offer to mediate the Kashmir conflict has reignited tensions between India and Pakistan not only across their borders but also on the global diplomatic stage. Trump's announcement of a full and immediate ceasefire between the two nuclear-armed neighbors has sparked intense political debate in India, which has long rejected any form of third-party mediation on the Kashmir issue. Trump's unconventional intervention. Posting on social media over the weekend, Trump declared that the United States had successfully brokered a ceasefire between India and Pakistan following 4 days of cross-border military exchanges. In a follow-up post, he said, "I will work with you both to see if, after 1,000 years, a solution can be arrived at concerning Kashmir." Trump's comments, consistent with his flamboyant and often erratic approach to diplomacy, touched a raw nerve in New Delhi, a country that has consistently resisted any external involvement in its affairs, especially on Kashmir, which it considers an internal matter. His intervention followed a serious flare-up that threatened to spiral into full-scale war after a terrorist attack in Indian-administered Kashmir that killed 26 people, mostly tourists. India launched airstrikes on what it called terrorist infrastructure in Pakistan. In retaliation, both sides exchanged missile and drone attacks across the heavily militarized line of control, LOC. Despite the violence, Trump's claim of a U.S.-brokered ceasefire raised eyebrows and left India scrambling to assert its traditional stance on bilateralism in resolving issues with Pakistan, historical roots of a modern crisis. The Kashmir conflict traces its roots to 1947, when British India was partitioned into two independent states, India and Pakistan. Both nations have fought multiple wars over the region, which they claim in full but administer in part. While Pakistan has consistently sought international intervention to resolve the dispute, India has rejected foreign mediation, citing the 1972 Simla Agreement, which mandates that all issues be resolved bilaterally and peacefully. Despite repeated provocations, India has maintained that Kashmir remains an integral part of the country, and any attempt to internationalize the issue is unacceptable. This position hardened significantly after August 2019, when the Modi government revoked the special autonomous status of Jammu and Kashmir under Article 370 of the Indian Constitution. The move was seen by Pakistan as a violation of international law and triggered widespread protests across the region and abroad. Reactions from Delhi: caution and concern. While the Indian government has not officially responded to Trump's mediation offer, the signs are clear that New Delhi is deeply uncomfortable with the direction things are taking. Former Foreign Secretary Shyam Saran voiced the unease within India's diplomatic circles. Obviously, it would not be welcomed by the Indian side. It goes against our stated position for many years. Foreign Minister S. Jaishankar, without directly referencing Trump, issued a pointed statement. India has consistently maintained a firm and uncompromising stance against terrorism in all its forms and manifestations. It will continue to do so. This is widely interpreted as a message that India will not engage in talks with Pakistan until Islamabad takes concrete steps to end support for cross-border terrorism. Furthermore, the opposition Congress Party demanded clarity from the government. Spokesman Jairam Ramesh said, "Have we opened the doors to third-party mediation? The Indian National Congress would like to ask if diplomatic channels between India and Pakistan are being reopened." The demand for an all-party meeting reflects growing domestic pressure on the Modi government to explain whether India's long-held diplomatic red lines are being diluted. Pakistan sees a diplomatic win, in contrast to India's skepticism. Islamabad welcomed Trump's remarks. In a statement, Pakistan's foreign ministry said, "We appreciate President Trump's expressed willingness to support efforts aimed at the resolution of the Jammu and Kashmir dispute." From Pakistan's perspective, any international recognition of Kashmir as a disputed territory is a win. Imtiaz Gul, executive director of Islamabad's Center for Research and Security Studies, told the BBC, "Pakistan has always wanted third-party mediation in the absence of mutual trust between the two countries. Now a superpower is willing to stick its neck out. Pakistan will see this as a moral victory." Strategic expert Syed Muhammad Ali echoed this view, arguing that India's refusal to engage leaves the international community no choice but to step in to prevent future escalations. The recent rapid escalation proves that the saber-rattling can go out of hand. Kashmir is one of the most critical issues for the international community. Ceasefire. With strings attached, further complicating matters, U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio stated that the ceasefire also includes a commitment from both sides to begin talks on a broad set of issues at a neutral venue. This caught India off guard and stoked fears that Washington is attempting to expand the scope of negotiations, possibly under Trump's guidance. Indian officials have reiterated that they will not engage in comprehensive talks with Pakistan until the latter ceases all support to militants operating in Kashmir. They also worry that any perceived concession may embolden Pakistan's military, which New Delhi accuses of sabotaging peace initiatives from civilian governments in Islamabad. The 1999 Kargil conflict is often cited as an example where Pakistani-backed infiltrators occupied strategic Indian territory shortly after both governments had pledged peaceful engagement, a tightrope walk for India. The challenge for India is navigating the geopolitical fallout without jeopardizing its relationship with the United States, which remains a key economic and defense partner. India is currently negotiating a major trade agreement with Washington and is already the largest U.S. trading partner, with bilateral trade crossing $130 billion in 2024. Additionally, India is a critical member of the Quadrilateral Security Dialogue, Quad, alongside the U.S., Japan, and Australia, aimed at countering China's growing influence in the Indo-Pacific. Since 2014, India under Prime Minister Modi has adopted a more assertive and nationalistic foreign policy, projecting itself as a rising global power. This stance has made the idea of third-party mediation, especially from the U.S., politically toxic. Any move perceived as yielding ground on Kashmir could trigger domestic backlash, not only from opposition parties but also from Modi's core nationalist support base. Conclusion: a diplomatic minefield. Trump's unsolicited offer to mediate has opened an uncomfortable chapter in South Asian diplomacy. While the ceasefire may have averted a catastrophic conflict, the political and strategic consequences of U.S. involvement may linger. India now finds itself walking a diplomatic tightrope, seeking to preserve peace and economic ties with the U.S. while vigorously defending its sovereignty over Kashmir and adhering to its stated position of no third-party involvement. As elections loom and geopolitical dynamics shift, the question remains, will India stick to its long-held principles, or will changing global power dynamics force a diplomatic recalibration? For now, New Delhi is signaling a firm no, but in the volatile politics of the subcontinent, nothing can be ruled out. Thank you for watching InfoHub, your source for trusted news and insights. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications to stay informed.